I'm getting excited for this spring and summer market. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Portland, Oregon area, then this video is for you. Today, we're gonna get into what to expect for this spring and this summer in the market. Ready? Go. My name is Aaron Cullen, and this is Brianna Cullen, and we have a local real estate company right here in Portland, Oregon. Now, we live in Lake Oswego, but we serve the whole Portland metro area. And if you've been watching our videos, you guys already know all that. So I thought having Bri with us today would make it a little bit more fun, and just kind of walking around downtown Lake Oswego.
So I think typically people expect that in the spring is really when houses hit the market, and it's a good time, or it's a busier time to start looking for something. I think it also dovetails with the interests of a lot of buyers who would like to move in the summer, especially families that have kids and don't typically like to switch schools mid-year. So that springtime is typically pretty busy. What are you seeing so far this year?
Great question. So far this year, we're seeing a little bit slower start to the spring market. And I know spring doesn't technically start until 2 or 3 weeks from now, but typically here at the end of February, beginning of March, we're seeing a little bit more houses coming on the market than we are, and things start to speed up a little bit in transaction time in the market than we're seeing right now. And just to give you a few numbers, we're up about 15% of new listings. So that's great. That's all good signs that hopefully this spring it will pick up like it normally does. One thing we got fighting against us is interest rates went up about 0.5%. So they're hovering right around that 7% when they were down to like 6.5% or slightly below that not too long ago. And now they've kind of shot back up to around that 7%. That doesn't help things, makes affordability a little bit more expensive. So I think when interest rates, shot up to 8% last year that we saw at the peak, that really slowed down the market. Now it's a whole percentage below that, and we are expecting interest rates to go lower, by the end of this year. When that will happen, don't really know. The Feds had indicated that, hey, they're gonna hold at kind of where they are now, which affects the interest rates. So we probably won't see lower interest rates, until the summer. It's kind of what I'm hearing and expecting to see. I do think things are gonna pick up. We are gonna get more transactions. We are gonna get more listings on the market, which means more buyers. So things will get more competitive. I was just talking with, and I know this is anecdotal, but another agent who just put in an offer a few days ago in the $600,000 price range, and there were 22 offers on that house. Now, that's not normal for right now. It was a great condition, move-in ready, but it wasn't that nice, desirable neighborhood at that $600,000 price range. So things are still competitive if it's a nice house in a good neighborhood, and if it's a great price point, and especially in that like $600,000 price range. Now that is closer to the average price point in Portland, which is around that $550,000, $540,000 price point. So expect more competition in that price point, just in Portland in general. And because there isn't a ton of inventory on the market yet, there's going to be more competition for those kind of cream of the crop right into that price point. But if your price point is a little bit higher than that, once you get in like the $750,000, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000, $1 million and above, you're going to get less and less competition. There's just less buyers at those price points.
Just to throw this out there, a little bit off topic, but I think a lot of clients, when they hear multiple offer situation, a lot of people just don't even want to touch that. Like, for whatever reason, it makes people shy away. What do you think about that, and how do you talk with clients when they are scared of a multiple offer situation?
Well, and just to be clear, that's an exception, that example. But I just wanted to highlight something that is happening here, in the market, where there can be a lot of multiple offers.
I think that is a little bit of a crazy situation, but sometimes there are, a few offers.
Yeah, I just had a client get an offer accepted, and it was 2 days on the market. They were asking $700,000, and we got it accepted at offer price, asking price at $700,000 no other offers, but we acted fast. We didn't give them time to do an open house, have the first weekend. We just kind of like gave them what they're asking for, gave them good terms to be able to lock it up really quickly. And then we can negotiate. You know, we're doing all the repairs, we're not waiving things like that. And in general, we're not seeing that in the market. So I wouldn't get scared in that respect. It's not the Wild West and people are just, you know, buying blindly.
Way over asking. And
yeah, exactly. Now, even that one with 22 offers, I'll follow up with that, but typically we're not seeing it going crazy over that asking price. It may have gone, with that many people, it may have gone like 50,000 over, you know, over that asking price, but
maybe not.
But maybe not, exactly. So typically, if it's, typically the rule of thumb is gonna be here in this market right now, if it's that first weekend, that first week that a property is on the market, expect that there could be more than one offer for that home if it's in great condition, it's priced well. But if it's the second week on the market or longer, you're probably going to be the only offer. So just act quickly. If you find something you like, that's my advice, is, you know, if you're scared of multiple offers, wait until a week. It's been on the market for a week.
But then don't let the lack of other offers trick you into thinking like that isn't a great house or a great property, because I think some of these people are like, well, it's like me if I see a really good parking spot downtown and I'm like, there must be something wrong, illegal about this parking spot, or someone else would have taken it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people feel like that about a house, and you know, the right house is the house that like feels right for you.
Right. And as that example, you know, of my clients that just got one locked up at an asking price, you know, we were on it the first day it was on the market. I was inside it, we were touring it, and then we were able to get that offer accepted by the second day. So,
and the selling agent was trying to say, you know, we have 4 more showings tomorrow, and you were able to really put the right terms together, so they accepted.
Exactly. So part of that is also like reaching out to me. If you guys are looking to buy in the spring or the summer, now's the time to reach out so we can kind of get a strategy together, really focus down on like what neighborhood, what price point you're at, make sure you're pre-qualified, you know, with a loan, so we can have all those elements into place for then, and get the property searches all together so we know exactly what you're looking for, and something comes on the market, you know, we can act quickly. You know, you can't always avoid a multiple offer, but sometimes you can beat everyone else to the punch.
Well, and also just the encouragement to be resilient, I think, as a buyer, because that wasn't the first house that those clients made an offer on.
That's right.
Or, you know, really looked at and thought seriously about.
Yeah.
And you have to keep putting yourself out there.
That's right. Yeah, we looked at multiple properties. So it's definitely a process, but they were very specific needs on the type of house that they needed.
Right.
So there wasn't a lot of homes that would fit. So were really paying attention to very specific things on a house when it would come on the market.
So one thing about that house, and also it sounds like the house that had 22 offers on it, is something that I haven't seen in the market in a couple of years, which is just value. I feel like that particular house, when I looked at it and I saw what you were getting for the price, it really felt like a great value. And it's been a few years since there's been a lot out there that felt like that.
Yeah.
So you talked about inventory and the numbers there, but can you talk a little bit more about prices?
Yes. So prices in Portland, Oregon, you know, in the Portland metro, it's about $540,000 is the median sales price. More realistically, though, in the market, I'm kind of feel like, you know, that $600,000 price point is really more a reality price point that's going to get you, you know, a nice house in a good neighborhood that's been updated. You know, those are,
and then
that's
way
kind of
on
like
up
a more,
from there.
and then way up from there. That's kind of a more realistic. And then every neighborhood's obviously a little bit different. Whether, you know, you're buying in Lake Oswego, you know, that price point's going to be way up there, you know, more in that $1 million range. So it really just depends on what neighborhood you're talking about. And to get more into prices in Portland in general, pretty much every neighborhood in Portland, like year over year, is down anywhere from 6% to like 1.5% from where it was 12 months ago. So the prices are, you're getting a better value than you were a year ago. The exception to that is a couple of places, like Tigard's up about 1.5%, almost 2%, and Lake Oswego's up 5.5% from where it was last year. And also Wilsonville, Westland is also up. So you are getting a better value than you were a year ago. Plus there is more inventory on the market right now than there was a year ago as well. Plus the seller's expectations are a lot more in check than I think they were a year ago as well. You know, if they see a good offer come to them, I feel they're more likely to accept that offer and are okay with doing inspections and negotiating repairs. All those things which are great for a healthy market are back, have been back in the market for a while now. All right, next question.
So it's interesting from my perspective when you talk about a slower start to spring and things being a little slow in general right now, is that you're pretty busy. And it seems like there are, you know, quite a few buyers that are looking and also offering and getting offers accepted. So I'm curious, do you think that part of that is that the interest rates have sort of stabilized, and so the idea of people waiting until they come way back down, that just doesn't seem very hopeful at this point, that there's going to be a huge drop that's worth waiting for? Or why do you think, you know, from the anecdotal side of things, the market does seem busy?
I think there's a lot of things kind of playing there. Is, you know, one, you know, interest rates peaked at 8 and they've come down, you know, a whole percentage point from that. And so people are used to paying more than say 3 or 4%, you know, when it was in like 2021. So we've had a couple of years now with higher interest rates than that low point. So I think that plays a big factor into it. And so people are ready to move. And I think that's not holding them back as much, that they're kind of getting more used to, okay, hey, interest rates, we're not going to see that like 3%, 4% interest rates anytime soon. We just have to kind of get on with our lives, you know, if we want to make a change. Plus, you are getting a lot of people that just need to move.
I was going to say that it's also probably market specific, that Portland, in terms of the West Coast, is still a great value and I think really desirable, especially for so many people who are able to work remotely now and don't necessarily have to stay in the very expensive Bay Area or Southern California.
Yep.
There was so much negative press about Portland during the height of the pandemic, and I think probably some of that has calmed down, and you know, we can talk in other videos about what it's like in Portland today, but I wonder if any of that also like plays into it.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, I think that also kind of folds into, you know, people have to get on with their lives. People want to move, get out of bigger cities, you know, and all that because of COVID. That's really opened up a lot of jobs to be able to work remote. I work with a lot of clients that are moving from out of state and that can work remotely, and that's a big draw to come to Portland, where it is either just better weather, say if they're coming from like Texas or Florida or Arizona, or they're coming from a bigger, more expensive city.
I wouldn't be myself if I didn't remark on the weather today. Since you said weather, I'm going to talk about the weather.
What do you think about the weather? I mean, it's gorgeous out today. As you can see, we got the sunglasses on, blue skies.
This is like one of the brightest blue skies we've had in a while. We woke up to blue sky this morning, which, you know, sometimes in the winter we might have a sunny day, but it starts out gray and takes a while to burn off. So I love waking up to blue sky, but it is cold.
Yeah, it's 40 degrees
now, and it was like 28.
Normally it's supposed to be a little bit warmer, but by Friday it's supposed to be what, 65?
No, that's next Friday.
Oh, what about this Friday?
I think like 57.
Hey, 57. So that's great. But hey, spring is right around the corner. I'm excited, I can't wait. And so that's also a misnomer. Hey, look, it's still technically winter, blue skies, no rain. We do get a lot of these days mixed in there, so it's not all gloom and doom in the winter here.
We had lunch with some clients last Friday who are moving from the East Coast, and they were here for inspections on a new build home, And we met them for lunch, and it was very like gray and rainy last weekend.
Yeah.
I was trying to sort of bolster their,
Yeah.
their spirits, but they
Yeah.
didn't seem to mind it at all. They were just like very
No.
cozy, and they
Yeah,
were going
they
to go
were
to the
loving it.
coast for the weekend.
And I told them that was the rainiest, kind of gloomiest, darkest week we've had all winter. So I was like, hey, if you guys are having a great time in this weather, how it is this week, then you're gonna love living in Portland.
You know, as we're talking about this in March, and we're talking about the spring market and buying, it occurs to me that we bought our house 5 years ago next month. You know, we were part of that spring sort of buying fever.
The average person only, buys and sells real estate every 5 to 7 years. And the high odds in that time frame of getting appreciation and a return on your investment is very high. The longer you hold on to real estate, the more you're paying down your mortgage, the more appreciation's coming in, you get tax write-offs. It's just gonna work to your advantage to buy. So that's why I always encourage people, if you see something that you really like, and you're ready to make a move, make an offer on it.
And I think everyone wants to get a great deal and feel like they got a great deal. I know, like I always wanted that. But even setting all of that conversation about appreciation aside, if our house today was worth exactly what it was 5 years ago, I would still feel good about the decision, because just lifestyle wise, this was the right choice for us. It wasn't just financial.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you, if it was the same price as it was 5 years ago, we'd probably be a lot busier and there'd be a lot more people making a move, because prices have gone up in the last 5 years, depending on where you are, 30 to 40% from 5 years ago. So that's a lot more expensive of a home.
Right, and that could happen again. So like to your point, if you wait.
Yeah. Yeah, and all these things kind of build up over time. We had that big period from 08 to 2015 where the market had gone down, and then it didn't hardly go up at all for many years, and then you had 2 years of kind of massive appreciation kind of across the US. So I hope you guys have gotten some great information from this video. If you're thinking about moving or buying or selling, go ahead and reach out, whether it's next week or next year. Information's right down there below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, stay tuned for the next one.